from. So as we speak right now, since Museveni has asked for forgiveness, let him remove his convoy, let him remove all the people, let him come to Tessa and say, okay, I am the one you've forgiven. Then we will see. Actually, so that we know that he needs forgiveness. Yesterday I was in prison. A woman kept crying. She says, they picked me and my husband because they wanted to take away my land. She's rotting in prison without an announcement. She had 7 children. She doesn't know where they are. She's in prison. In Luzira Women's Prison, and her husband is on the other side. She doesn't know where her children are. She doesn't know whether they are alive or dead. She just left them to Howie and left them there. And this is a man you think we're supposed to forgive. So, allow me to speak in the language. Ikatna, iteso. Ara ilo likono na iya, likono na iyi.
Anyway, but na Uganda, that is Anita talking. That is not AI. That is Anita. Kati ya wengambira Senga Accid nzani olaba ne Museveni abantu bakola nabo. By the way, it's treason for a Speaker of Parliament to do that. You know that? It's not.
She's allowed
to do what?
To do that.
To gossip.
No, she's not gossiping. Like, even if it were true, which is, if it were true,
it's true.
It's not.
It is very
true. She's allowed. Just even away from her being a Ugandan, she's a speaker. She's supposed to be non-partisan as a speaker of the parliament of Uganda. So she's supposed to question anything that really impacts that.
Katika mbuze Anita chichi ekyasinzo muluma Museveni okwetondera abaganda. Wanji? What was she waiting for to say all this? Yalizeko Museveni nga yetondedde abaganda naye n'alyoka agamba mbube ntondere abateeso n'abankalamojja. What was she waiting for? Huh?
What was she waiting for? For whatever?
What was she waiting for? Because this call was after Museveni apologizing to Uganda, to Baganda, the people of Uganda, especially people of Uganda.
Yeah, but then I also know it's not true. So.
Okay. Anyway, sagala nnyo bintu bya. At least we are going to see her exit. Anyway, at least abana Uganda Anita. I know. No, everybody is talking about it. Wanji?
Senga Accid Gamboja.
Yeah, ndio Gamboja.
Mwana kusenga Accid ono.
So, to be honest, of course, that was Anita, but whatever it is, Senga drone oyagala ya kalachi. Naye wembera soba mbera nkusaliza.
This is my fourth. I took the one upon the one you didn't take yours. This is my fourth.
Okay, I'm gonna take this one also. Okay, on them. Tompa mwenge kwa speed.
Yeah, I'll let you
rest.
I don't have guarantees. I told you about to give me your threat again.
Anita, chiche kyasinzo muluma because Museveni yetondedde abaganda over. I didn't get her point.
It's kind of, it's heavy, right?
Ogenda wona ebikuluma byonna. Owulidde Anita? Nawanje naye kyemulina okumanya omulambo oguddako mulambo gwa Anite ajja tulabira kano mayombo ne banda owulidde era but naye ate Anite tayogedde bubi ayogedde bubi.
Doesn't like anyone that questions him.
No, but anyway, katika nzireko ku side ya Anite teyayogedde byama. Yagambye bayokya Abannayuganda,
which
almost 1,000 people in a train,
yeah.
Which happened and we saw.
Yeah.
But is it Museveni eyabokya? Wanji? It was kakati abantu Abannayuganda bakola ebinkolobero I hear. Museveni mbuye yabokyeza ki Abanyarwanda we bakeera ne bookya. You didn't listen to okay, let me listen to the concluding remarks. Let me listen, my dears. Let me listen. I am here. That is Anita.
Because I know what hurts me so much. I had someone deliberating earlier. Do you know how painful it is for you to know that a Karamojong child is on the stage, and yet back home they would have been better off if their parents were still alive and their brothers or sisters. But where are they? Rotting in jail for doing nothing because someone wants to take over your land and has burnt your house. So,
but abana be Karamoja ababeera ku nguudo babeerako ne bazadde baabwe wangi babeerako ne bazadde baabwe nga tusaba ssente
tebakugamba niyo abaleeta tewawulira story yani abaleeta
ababaleeta ku nguudo ba MP baabwe be babaleeta
si be bagamba bajja kunsiba bannemesa okudda Uganda.
Since he has apologized, let him send one of his relatives to first come and see us that side. They don't have to come in a convoy. They can just come in one car and we will see. There are so many pigs that need fertilizing. But let him come, leave his convoy, and then we will have forgiven him from that side and he will see what it looks like. There's no way you kill people and you expect to be forgiven. Let them first resurrect. The people of Uganda are suffering. All of us who don't belong here, we are here and lives are okay. But then you find one man is making every. Why would you torture somebody's child to that extent? But Pastor, can't we kidnap one of Museveni's relatives and hang them?
By the way, guys, inze nganze nabagamba, I acknowledge all the bad things this regime has done. I acknowledge everything. I acknowledge that Uganda needed to have a new leader as far as 20 years ago. I acknowledge that we as Ugandans, we need to liberate our country. I do also acknowledge that Uganda as a country, but we ensi yaffe temugamba mbu ate gwe Uganda bagitunde nkale bagiguzaaba erimu ki
agitekamu ba refugees
abajja eno aba Mexico abasuule tugimuwe tulagewo
ba Asia ali batwala Sudan lwaki tagulamu Uganda batuwa sente tujja kweyiiya
akatesa ako nenda nkakola mu video Trump kamutuukeko kakati yenze abuuza kale ebyo byonna mbiwulidde, but still as a human being I'm not happy that Anita had to do that about the bossy way. No, Anita works for this government. Anita has not stood and faced the enemy in the eye.
Work for the government. She works for the country.
Anita does not work for the country. Ask me why. Ask me why. Abana babendi abafiira ku nguudo, abana babendi abafiira Dubai. Anita has never stood as a deputy speaker working for this country and faced the enemy in the eye. Era nabino, listen, era nabino, this is an act of cowardice.
Uganda yakisiro man. Nekatira bakondo kasasira. Like,
this is an act of cowardice.
Like, you're gonna say who's gonna come out. They just stopped anywhere. Alina Ami and Kuma.
Ndako mulabe nga avaamu.
Onena kunyiga. You're gonna get mad.
Ebyo Anita ebyo yalina obistopinga aliena betrayinga Museveni. Anita has never looked the enemy in the eye and say, hey, listen, you need to stop this. She does not do that.
Uganda is such a joke.
You know? Bannange mbadde nsaba abagoberezi bange twesonde tugula Uganda bwe tunaamala njigula nga tugiwa headmaster omu nga munaaba mulooze ndowooza Bobi Wine gwe mwagala.
Can you imagine? Like, I'm so bothered that they stopped on the highway. Like this person. But that is a Uganda because what is in it?
Hey, you guys, Anita, I don't care what Anita said in that audio. Anita has been part and parcel of a regime that is oppressing Ugandans and did nothing about it. Not as a mother, not as a Ugandan, not as a woman. Yes, Toinan the Chonga, but this what we had in this audio.
No, but what Anita is saying is true. Those people that were killed in a train, Museveni should have apologized because it was his NRM people. We were writing about a giant power. About soldiers were NRM again and
1,000 people.
They were like,
yeah, can be 1,000 people.
Me, I want to think the number is not certain.
But do you know how many Baganda people were killed in Rakai?
That is true.
Museveni, listen.
Thing,
Museveni takes accountability of Rakai because himself. He takes accountability because if it was not for Rakai, actually, Rakai as an area, was it a district?
Right now it's a district.
It is. Listen. That area, Rakai, Luwero, thank you. Luwero was the sacrificial lamb for Uganda to get, well, I don't want to say a stupid statement, but no, to get where it is today. The liberation war, the liberation war of Uganda, that liberation war that has been in power for 40 years, Luwero was a sacrifice.
Never liberation from what?
And they liberated us. It's Linda ko katika nyumize NRM eringanga omukazi akujja mu maka kale eringanga omusajja akujja mu maka g'omukazi ng'omukazi abadde akubonyabonya owulira nga wasiiwuuka takuwa mmere nga wenna oli eyo obonaabona owulira ng'ogamba bannange nenfuna omusajja ansigula situula owulira n'akusigula kati aba yakakusigula akugulira emmere wenna n'ogejja wenna n'onyirira wenna n'otibula oti n'osiba akaviiri n'onyirira. You get, as time goes on n'atandika ate okukola ebiri worse than abuser oli gye yakujja
naye nze ndowooza ne bwe yajjira awo nga yenyiriza. It's just that Ugandans are just Ugandans.
Nedda, Ugandans are not just Ugandans. What happened was that guy came with good ideas.
But the way
listen, baby,
was scary.
Kamaleyo. That guy came with good ideas. That guy, Ugandans had been led by oppressive leaders, even if he also turned out to be oppressive.
Yeah.
Baby, our parents, if they sit down and talk to you about those regimes, you first keep quiet. Kakati lindako. Yabasiba akatambala kuki ku maaso. Olaba ebyo abasinga kati jjajja bafe abaafa. Ne bamama baffe abambagamba bannange omusajja yatuwa ki? Bayina statement egyo yatuleetera eddembe. Yatuleetera emirembe. Baba kubanga emiggo ne bababbako ebyabwe, but remember it was being done in a shrewd way. Edda kati wano gayajja. You know, omukazi nga obadde omukuba every day. Omusajja omulala n'amusigula. N'amala emyaka 5 nga tebamukubako. Aba alabanga gwe. Mutusangako omukuba every day. It's the worst thing that would ever happen. Inti ne bwonkomawo leeti ekyo tajja kukirabanga ekibi ekisinga. You get? Ne wano omwendako tajja kukirabanga ekibi ekisinga because capitalizing nnyo inti wamukubanga every day n'omukuba najja omusaayi for all the time. My point is Museveni yasiba bannange sagala kwogera ku politics, yasiba bannayuganda akatambaala kuki ku maaso. Abannayuganda abali oppressed for a long time, being oppressed by the military government. You understand? Now, as time came, the good ideas that he had, he deviated. I'll give you a few things that guy did. Ebirungi.
Okay.
Nebibi. You understand? Echisoka. All of us have to acknowledge that Museveni's regime has registered the most educated Ugandans. Not only his regime anyway, the millennials. The millennials in the whole world, including America and everywhere, are the most educated generation.
It's the most educated generation.
Most educated worldwide.
Yes.
In that even what we studied now is useless.
Useless. It's actually, it's the most educated, but then also it's the one where the education has been the
meaningless. Kakati, I don't want us to blame that on Museveni only. Inti ne mu America baby wasoma nange wano nasoma but nyizo kola mu agency n'abantu abakava Uganda abata nasoma but I have a degree here. You understand? So education not being as useful as it should be. It's not only about Uganda. You understand? The millennials are the most educated.
It's just the basis, like the percentage.
Yes.
Was in Uganda.
Okay, but still, I'll say what I wanted to say. Inti regime it's so hard okusenkana omuna Uganda azalibwa n'akulira ku mulembe gwa Museveni that cannot at least have an idea in the English language. But generally, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But my point is, when you compare numbers, it's like at least Kare.
People have studied because education is a big thing worldwide now.
It's more accessible. It's more accessible, widely accessible than never before.
Yeah, because everyone. How many?
Let's give that to him. Okay.
No, it's not to him. It's that the world is in that. It's in. How can I say? Like where we are right now, we are valuing education a lot more. You find so many young doctors worldwide.
I want to add on that.
As a big thing, but
I want to add on that. I want to add on that. When Museveni took over power, education was not free.
It was not.
So, naye, even when he took over power, education was not free. Okay? But, as time went on,
and don't say UPE.
No. I'll say it and I will challenge you though. Listen, now after that, netutuka ku level nga agamba, okay, I want to give free education to elementary education in Uganda, primary, UPE. It was a good idea. That was
poorly executed.
Exactly. But at least he had it. You have said Museveni has been misled by everybody. works. But at least Yagamba let Ugandans have what?
UPE. But then it is not useful if you're not executing it. Like, it can only be an idea until you fully execute it.
I know.
It would have been really, really helpful to a lot of villages in Uganda. Senga you call proper execution.
I know.
Because now they've moved it to USE, and now it's also secondary, right?
They have. But to say, later.
There is USE.
But as an education, Uganda already have primary UPE.
But you see, now that's the thing. Now, why are you bringing USE when UPE has
when you have not yet even perfect? I know.
Because it can only be an idea until you fully put it into practice.
I know.
By fully, sikubanti just to let you have a summer.
No, Chebagenda Okola. Bano ba failures by UPE. They bagenda okugenda. Which makes private education more expensive.
But that even gets crazy because if, let's say, 100 people go to primary one in UPE, only about 3 will come out as the two.
No, it's even making private education more expensive. By the way, what made schools expensive in Uganda was the introduction of UPE. You know that?
Why?
Labayo, Uganda, everybody. Do you know that schools are a business in Uganda?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, tosobola kuleta UP yabana nga basomeseza bwere. Then a private investor natateekawo an entity that is going to look so way better than you.
Bannange Senga bava kungulira drink. Bannange.
Bambi nange babadde bansuubiza leka nkebeleko omwana oyo bannange agenda mu
bannange omwana oyo agenda kututta bannange bannange agenda mu ggulu bannange taata weebale sijja kwogera waneeno bino ebikonkome bijja kusabiriza naye bannange weetegedde mukulu taata neyanzeege nalina okugenda okugula ne aminge
nagitadde eri awo nagirese mu mmotoka
bannange olwaliro ngenda bavuma olwa bulijjo mbavuma tebangulidde nga kati ndi sponsored bannange mwetereeza olwaleero sigambikako sifugika tewabaawo gezaako nanjja ku live eno oba bannange international model olwaleero keweesirwaza bivumo biri sponsored
nze tontiisatiisa naawe
kale gweddaawo
queen
Najim kati wadde oyagala nkusaba eki lwaki wadde oyagala nkusaba eki bannange Najim beera wakisa naawe byolemera enfunyu zigenda birira bwereere nze nkubuulire kati bannange kati nze kundoopa waneeno bannange Najim kiki ofa kinensi obuntu obutono tebukwemazaamu kati oze wano ogamba abantu bonna nga ndi mukusaba naye bannange kati wadde oyagala nkole ki gwe atali gundi nti tugenda kubajjamu embaawo ddala kiki ennyo gwe obeera eri ng'olinyeenya wadde oyagala gwezaako nsaba eriryo
wamahamu ani tewamma wamuwulidde si kyo Anita tewamuwulidde akaaga ya Museveni
Anita nange Senga
Anita amongo
Anita ddala lwaki wadde ogere taata waffe jjajja waffe omwagaza
nze tebyansanyusizza
nange siri musanyufu jjajja waffe tasobya
ndikuwalanirako jjajja waffe
ffenna tuli ku saidi ya jjajja gwe kyanita
abakimafiya
bannange njagala jjajja amuteekeko embeera enzibu kubanga abeera eri ng'ageya
naye teyamwogeddeko bibi just yamugeya
Najimu era nja komekereza nga nkituukiriza gwe Najimu mission yange must succeed kibeera eri nga kigeya jjajja waffe kyadde kimwogerako ebikyamu
bamuyamba ne bamuwa ekifo
mu gavumenti ekifo mu gavumenti kyokka ali eri yeegeesa jjajja waffe ali ng'agamba nti jjajja waffe tasobya amuveeko muveeko mwesonyiwe ne bannanga manga Anita ddala ofa kinenso oyagala ki ku nsi eno bakuwadde buli kintu kyoyagala bakuwadde ogufa gw'oyagala era okyageya jjajja waffe omwagaza ki Bwaizawe njala kuddayo Uganda kukolera gavumenti. Mwababeereyo nga mugeya gavumenti, ffe gavumenti yaffe tosobya tujagalirayo nga bweri. Twagenda gijoyininga gisupportinga. Mubeereyo musirwale mwebuza amagezi.
Museveni obululu bwasinga okufuna. Museveni obululu bwasinga okufuna buva mu bakyolya abakalamoja abateeso.
Also, I think they don't know what has happened in that area. They only hear of it. Like right now, remember
Auntie, you have to move on. Ozijukiza aba Jamaica abatuchawa fembu mtu abaseringa into slavery.
Auntie, tutuwa bagala abafirika.
Beba mani, you have to
Jamaicans will never forgive.
We don't care. Beba mani, so they forgive the whites that enslaved them. They are bitter. They should seek counseling. They should seek counseling. Beba batekangako enjegere. Was it us? What harm?
Wanji.
Banange eri eyo omuwala gwe boogerako manya bamuyita Dora. Dora yabadde ki mbu yafiirwa bbaawe mujje mutubuulire. Mbu yafiirwa bbaawe mbu eddwaliro ne limumu omulambo.
Ono gwe nalabye ng'ayombesa ab'emulago.
Nze sibanyi. What's the
kabagumumme lwaki yali agenda mu ddwaliro atasobola kusasula yandifiiridde mu kiriniki.
But the hospital said, but it's not the one of Mengo.
Oba Mengo knows.
The hospital came on Twitter and said they kind of finished.
Namwe nga baali bamanja ba miliyoni 2 then ne zeeyongera buli lunaku lwe bagira omulambo. Iye kikyali kimutwala Mengo.
Nalabyeko kaawo
asobola okusasula. Kabaguwambe.
Kokaawo malaya layisi Dolini nkabaleebe ng'agamba Zuwena mbuna ayambala bubi. Dolini.
Lubaga hospital, okay. Chiche kyali kimutwala Lubaga nga takisobola gisasula. Yandigenze n'afiira mu Katanga.
Yani mutute mu ssabo n'afiire.
Okisegeera n'afiira mu ssabo gye batakola ki? Gye batawambe mulambo kabaguwambe tatukooya talina kyatugamba. Baba mugamba nnyina amuzaale mu busajja obwavu.
Yani mutute ewa mama Fiina omusawo w'ekinnansi bwe yandifiira.
Agaba obuyambi.
Omulambo ne bagukolako ebyawongo.
Okitegeera ekintu ekyo kati atukaabira ayagala tumukolera ekintu tumusasulire omulambo olwedde omuntu yafa. Ayagala mulya.
Okumanya bino ebigambo olaba hamunze. Ekisooka sigaba mabugo kuba omuntu waba afudde aba afudde.
Aba agenze.
Nze ne ssente ez'okuziika sizisonda kubanga siraba muntu avundidde waggulu.
Bayibuli egamba muleke abafu baziike bafu bannaabwe kati ayagala mulya.
Omuntu bw'atulema okuziika tusobola omutwala mu kibira ne tutyaba enku ne tumwokya. Mwabadde ekibali muyombesa.
Tewenya yagamba
Bbaawe amuyombesezza bannange. Tulabye. Nze I've never seen omulambo ogudibidde ku nsi omufu yenna afa era bw'abalema okuziika muli baddembe okukubira poliisi. Ne poliisi emunona n'emuziika si kyo. Wangi. Have you ever seen a person dead mbu n'alemera ku nsi? N'abulwa we bamuziika. Waliwo limbo so temutukooya nnyo nnyo ebyo bintu ebyo ate even if it's money for a coffin abasiraamu abantu abaziika mu masuuka gule suuka oziika omuntu already aba yafudde temutukooya naye you people don't have what to do. Is talking about dead people all you have to do bannange diyalengo oti okufa ogenda kufa envu nnyo zikuve mu matu ne mu nnyindo zikuzine we talk about dead people chikulume kakati ono yakajoininga yakatandika otulaba alabye mu John twayogedde ku